A new poll is shining light on how Californians feel about the government, given recent events like the immigration operation in Minnesota and Governor Gavin Newsom's proposed budget for the next year.
A top takeaway, there's a five-way tie in the race to succeed Newsom. ABC 10 State Matters political reporter Jenny Huh joins us now with the details. Jenny.
Well, what we've heard time and time again is that it's still a fluid race with no clear frontrunner. Political experts say this poll is one of the top-rated nonpartisan ones out there, and it also reiterates there's no clear direction of the race.
It's kind of like anything could happen.
Anybody's ball game on the Republican side, anybody's ball game on the Democratic side.
Some of us would rather see a purge than a surge because we want to get rid of some of these candidates. But
the consensus by political experts on a new survey by the Nonpartisan Public Policy Institute of California is there's no front runner on either side of the aisle in the race to succeed Governor Gavin Newsom. Even those leading in the poll are technically tied due to the margin of error.
So if one is 10 and one is 14, mathematically, it's essentially saying they're tied.
Likely voters are closely divided between five candidates, 14% for Republican former Fox News host Steve Hilton, 13% for Democrat former Congresswoman Katie Porter, 12% for Republican Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco, 11% for Democratic Congressman Eric Swalwell, 10% for Democrat billionaire Tom Steyer.
Steyer coming up is a function of a massive amount of spending.
Steyer has been the top spender so far in campaign ads, which we will see more of from more candidates soon, experts say.
The average voters who aren't even paying attention to this race yet.
Nearly 50% of likely voters surveyed say they're not following the race, and 61% of likely voters say they're satisfied with the candidate choices. An interesting base, the independent voters. The poll shows 15% are for Porter, 11% for Hilton and Steyer, 9% for Bianco, and 8% for Swalwell. But
those are exactly the kind of voters that don't vote in primary elections.
Election data expert Paul Mitchell notes in primaries, it's often the most partisan and engaged voters that go to the polls.
Those people who are either turning out because they're extremely angry with what's happening with Trump or extremely excited about what's happening with Trump.
Of those surveyed, over 30% say cost of living and the economy is the top state issue, and 37% say threats to democracy is the top national issue.
And show those California voters what you will do to make their life better.
And the elephant in the room, Newsom, who maintains an approval rating in the 50s and is on a nationwide book tour for his memoir, Young Man in a Hurry.
He can walk and chew gum, but whatever he does at this point is going to be viewed through a lens of he's running for president.
Now, the poll also shows Californians are divided on how to deal with the state budget deficit. 43% say through spending cuts, 39% say a mix of cuts and tax increases, and a majority support more taxes for the wealthy, like the proposed billionaires tax. Chris, Laura.
All right, Jenny Huh, thank you. We do want to note Republican strategist Tim Rosales represents Republican candidate John Slavitt in the race. To the points, Alex Bell sat down with top Democrats in the race. Coming up at 6:30, we hear from gubernatorial candidate Katie Porter. We're also working to sit down with the Republican candidates as we continue our coverage of the race for California's next governor. You can find the interviews on ABC 10+.